The 67th Grammy Awards, typically a celebration of music's biggest names, took a surprising and dramatic turn as Meghan Markle stepped onto the red carpet. What should have been a dazzling moment quickly shifted into a scene of clear disapproval as boos and jeers echoed from the crowd. The energy shifted dramatically. Rather than the praise you may have anticipated, Meghan was met with a strong wave of negativity. Wearing a standout fashion piece, she appeared caught off guard by the unwelcome reaction, trying to stay composed amid the tension that blanketed the atmosphere. As she walked down the carpet, the disapproval grew louder, and it became evident she wasn't embraced at the esteemed event. Onlookers noted her visible discomfort as she forced smiles, seemingly trying to rise above the critical reception. Quiet murmurs swirled among guests, many wondering why she was at an event dedicated to music legends when her links to that world were tenuous. Some speculated she was aiming to remain visible or trying to network in fresh entertainment lanes once off-limits, now pursued and redefined. In the aftermath, thoughts emerged urging people to be slower to judge, to examine the biases often placed on those outside traditional molds, biases that history has shown to be frequently misplaced, irrational, and damaging. These knee-jerk reactions often reflect exclusion rather than evaluation, blocking chances for new voices to be heard or new paths to be taken. Sometimes misunderstood intentions are labeled as calculated without full context, and public opinion leans into familiar narratives instead of reconsidering. The red carpet, in this case, became a battleground of perception, sparking deeper questions about celebrity, access, and image in the current cultural landscape. Meghan's experience might serve as a chance to encourage empathy and pause, a reminder that evolution in any industry comes from openness and inclusivity, not gates. Progress thrives on exchange, on shared experiences, and on the courage to stand in spaces where one might not traditionally belong. It's through these moments, controversial or not, that bigger conversations emerge about relevance, reinvention, and recognition. Her appearance, however polarizing, may symbolize a broader turning point, where the public rethinks how fame is earned, what legacy means, and who gets to participate in shaping the future of entertainment. The camera caught brief flashes of unease on her face, revealing cracks in the polished image she tried to sustain as a crowd reaction tested her resolve. This awkward reception wasn't entirely unforeseen. Meghan's attempt to integrate into elite circles have often been met with skepticism. Her presence in prestigious spaces frequently appears at odds with the context, drawing sharp commentary from both critics and insiders. From film premieres to sports finals to now the Grammys, Backlash has often accompanied her appearances, sometimes overshadowing the purpose of the events themselves. At this year's Grammys, displeasure wasn't subtle. Some attendees made sarcastic remarks about her presence, with one guest reportedly quipping that she deserved an award for most strategic publicity. Meghan may be no stranger to scrutiny, but this night's level of resistance was particularly striking. Despite the carefully curated image she presents through selective media, public perception in uncontrolled settings tells another story. The reactions at the Grammys were less about that single moment, and more about ongoing frustrations with what many see as calculated moves. Some believe she shows up at high-profile venues primarily to stay relevant, even if her recent contributions don't warrant the spotlight. While she's made efforts to bond with influential figures, these relationships often appear surface level. Key players in entertainment remain cautious about aligning too closely, and nights like the Grammys underline why. These events typically highlight those who made impactful marks in music and art. Meghan's presence seemed more like an effort to insert herself into the narrative than a celebration of artistry. Reports suggest that organizers themselves were caught off guard by her arrival, which wasn't confirmed until nearly the last minute. This left some attendees frustrated, feeling her attendance didn't align with the show's focus. Unlike seasoned entertainers who cemented their place in the industry, Meghan's position within it feels vague and uncertain. In the end, her appearance only emphasized the gap between her aspirations for broader acceptance and the reality of how she's viewed by the public and industry veterans alike. What was meant to honor the best in music became an example of how fame, relevance, and public sentiment intersect in unpredictable, revealing ways, leaving a mark on the event that went beyond its intended celebration.